This is Robert Kalua with the news on Zodiac. The headlines this hour. Park awaits on audience with President Chakwera. Minister urges people not to report sexual offences to chiefs. National Planning Commission starts transforming Salima into a secondary city as part of the Vision 2063 agenda. And in news from elsewhere, Mozambique party queries legality of foreign troops. The Public Affairs Committee PAC says it is still waiting for an audience with President Lazarus Chakwera to discuss a number of issues of national interest, including public discomfort with socio-economic problems. State House Director of Communications, Sean Kampondeni, says the President is aware of the request from PAC and will attend to it after the SADC summit. We have a report filed by Blessings Kangombe.
Spokesperson for Public Affairs Committee PAC, Bishop Guilford Matonga, says leaders of the Kwaso religious organization want to raise matters arising with President Chakwera. Bishop Matonga told us that a lot has happened in the 1 year that the Tons Alliance has been in office, and it is time to communicate on the perspective of the citizenry. But the date and venue of the desired interface remain prerogative of State House.
The issue of the economy, the issue of the cabinet, the whole aspect of governance, the things that have been in the media lately, all these are other issues of appointments and so on and so forth. These are pertinent issues that Public Affairs Committee would want to engage with the President.
The PAC says this interaction, when granted, shall not prioritize President Chakwera's proposal on the possibility of giving the religious organization constitutional mandate. President Chakwera's personal assistant and State House Director of Communications, Sean Kamponden, did not communicate on when the head of state would meet PAC leaders.
At the moment, the date has not been set, but the President is looking forward to that engagement once he has identified an appropriate time to have that meeting. But obviously, one of the factors the President has to take into account is the fact that beginning on Monday, he's going to be hosting the 41st Ordinary Summit of Heads of State and Government for SADC.
Among other issues, PAC wants to discuss with Chakwera on public fears of apparent nepotism and tribalism in appointments, the state of the economy and governance.
Minister of Gender, Children and Social Welfare, Patricia Kariati, has asked people to stop reporting sexual offences and other gender-related violences to chiefs, saying such cases need to be reported to police. Kariati has said this on Thursday when responding to petitions by members of Child Reference Group in Lilongwe, where they complained that some chiefs sit on such cases. About 30 children from the ages of 7 to 17 had an interface with the minister, senior government officials and other stakeholders from civil society, where they expressed their concerns. Innocent Kumchedwa filed this report.
In this statement, we would like to bring to your attention the following. 1. Every day, girls are experiencing sexual abuse or harassment. Some boys too experience sexual abuse. Orphans and girls are staying with their stepfathers are the ones who are suffering most.
13-year-old Asimenye Maria making one of the captivating speeches at this event where children through the Children Reference Group are submitting a communique. They are here to demand change. Her petition is on requesting immediate action in cases of sexual abuse, and it is addressed to the Inspector General of Police and copied to the Lilongwe Child Justice Court. The 13-year-old girl says the problems children face comes from their own communities and from people they know and trust, such as chiefs, relatives and parents. Maria says even reporting such matters to chiefs does not help matters, as some chiefs sit on these cases, and in most cases they respond that they cannot do anything on issues within a family. Speaking after receiving one of the petitions, Minister of Gender, Patricia Kariati, gave an immediate response. She says with immediate effect, people in the country must stop reporting sexual offences to chiefs.
Yeah, the chiefs are not supposed to do that. They just go immediately to police.
Save the Children Country Director, Kim Kochi, is asking for swift justice to children that have been abused.
Children today said when there is a perpetrator in their community, they don't feel safe. We have to make sure that these people are locked away and that they're locked away for good.
Director of Community Policing and Rural Police Unit, Aubrey Nyirenda, presented latest statistics of sexual violence. In 2020, the country recorded 105 cases of rape from January to June. This year, 117 cases have been reported the same period. Likewise, in 2020, the country recorded 926 defilement cases. From January to June this year, 1,193 cases have been recorded.
Vice President Saulos Chilima on Thursday continued with his inspection of the country's state of the preparedness for the forthcoming Southern African Development Community SADC Summit set to begin next week. He visited several sites, including Kamuzu Central Hospital. Delegates for the event will start arriving over the weekend. This is part of what Chilima told journalists after the tour.
We should be set by Saturday. Capital Hotel and Golden Peacock at 100%. They are ready. The villas, I think, because they are only set to be used in the next 10 days or so, they'll also be on course. And KCH, as we've seen, they're very ready. And there's really nothing to worry about here at Kamuzu Central Hospital. So overall, for today, I would say that while others are very ready, there's some work being done in a few places, but to just assure all of us that by Saturday evening we should be in all places at 100%. If there will be some outstanding works, it will be because there will be configurations for the ministerial meeting and there will be a separate configuration for the presidential or for the summit itself, which involves heads of state and heads of government. So that will be really just switching, furniture and stuff. Otherwise, to continue from where I stopped yesterday, the committee has done a commendable job, and we also thank all those that are working for responding very positively, because this is a team effort. So those that are providing resources are doing so. As those that have been tasked to do some work are also doing what they're supposed to be doing. Those that have been supervising have also been providing the requisite leadership. So kudos to the team. I would say that they have done a good job.
The Minister of Civic Education and National Unity, Timothy Mtambo, has indicated that the Malawi Peace and Unity Bill will be tabled in Parliament this coming November. Minister Mtambo told journalists on Thursday, after opening a peace education and conflict prevention workshop in Blantyre, that he believes that once passed into law, it will help the country to build national capacities to resolve conflicts. Meanwhile, UNDP Portfolio Manager Dr. Agnes Chimbiri has asked the academia to introduce more courses on conflict analysis in order to promote peace in the country. Christopher Sande with more in this report.
Officials from United Nations Development Programme UNDP, Ministry of Civic Education and National Unity, and the academia are meeting in Blantyre to discuss peace education and strengthening national analytical capabilities for conflict prevention. The Minister of Civic Education and National Unity, Timothy Mtambo, has indicated that the Malawi Peace and Unity Bill will be tabled in Parliament this coming November. Minister Mtambo believes that once passed into law, it will help the country to build national capacities to resolve conflict that, among others, emerge due to land wrangles, chieftains squabbles, and political propaganda.
The Peace and Unity Bill is a very, very big milestone for Malawi. It is an infrastructure of peace that is going to establish an institution at national level to coordinate matters of peace and unity in this country, which will be the Malawi Peace and Unity Commission. And it will also decentralize peace building and the conflict management efforts.
UNDP Portfolio Manager Dr. Agnes Chimbiri has asked the academia to introduce more courses on conflict analysis in order to promote peace in the country.
And therefore, why we called for the academia to come forward with courses on peace building and conflict prevention, it's really that we need to prepare Malawians. We need to prepare our workforce.
Coordinator of Peace and Security at University of Malawi, Master Dix Mfune, says there is need to put in place a comprehensive peace curriculum so as to impart relevant knowledge and skills to people, including children, on the importance of promoting peace in Malawi. Reporting for Zodiac from Blantyre, this is Christopher.
The Center for Democracy and Economic Development Initiative, CDED, says the parliamentary leadership owes Malawians an explanation on the bill that was smuggled into Parliament. CDED Executive Director Sylvester Namiwa has said on Thursday that the leadership, that includes the Clerk and Speaker of the National Assembly, should exonerate itself on the issue, as it would have been impossible for the bill to get into the chamber without its knowledge. While spokesperson for the Parliament refused to grant us an interview on the matter, leader of government business in the House, Richard Chimwendo Banda, argues it's unfair to think that the leadership did nothing. We have a report found by Western Gota.
The loan authorization bill, which should have allowed government to borrow 93 billion kwacha for construction of security officers' houses, has become a controversy, with a presidential aide and Minister of Finance official arrested for being involved in smuggling it into the August House. The Center for Democracy and Economic Development Initiative, CDED, thinks that it is impossible for the bill to get into the chamber without the clerk, speaker, leader of government and opposition in the House knowing. CDED Executive Director Sylvester Namiwa says that following the arrests of the two, Malawians now expect to know the motive, adding that the Speaker and the Clerk of Parliament should exonerate themselves on the issue.
We are surprised with the deepening silence, the silence on the part of the clerk, because the impression they are creating is that these two people that have been arrested did everything single-handedly with involving officials from Parliament. In actual procedure, nothing can be found on the order paper without the involvement of the clerk of Parliament.
While Parliament spokesperson Ian Mwenye denied granting us an interview, leader of government business Richard Chimwendo Banda feels it is unfair to think that the leadership did nothing as they withdraw the bill before it was tabled.
It's not like the opposition, it's not like a member, it's not like anyone else. It is the very same leadership, the government leadership that rejected that bill.
President Lazarus Chakwera has already fired his aide, Pastor Martin Tom, on the matter, and the police are yet to take Tom and the finance minister official, Nations Msoya, to court. Reporting for Zodiac, this is Western Gota.
You're watching the news here on Zodiac. We'll be back with more after this.
Sompenya amalawi watukula malawi 2063 akale wozimira bae ufika 2063 akale wokomera aliyensi achinyamata tikwira ne manja tukula malawi achinyamata tikale patsogolo tukula malawi malawi wozimira bae malawi wokomera aliyensi Malawi 2063 kusinda dziko lathu mokomera aliyense.
I choose to be smart. I choose to live a simple and easy life. I choose not to line up to pay my bills. This is why I go digital. Jump the queue. Pay your Lilongwe Water Board bills through mobile banking, or you can pay through mobile money, as I always do. You can also check your water bill and balance by simply dialing *253#. With digital payments, you can save time and money. Be smart. Pay your bills on time.
Lilongwe Water Board. Lilongwe Water Board. Portable water all the time for all.
Welcome back. A look at the headlines as we continue. PAC awaits an audience with President Chakwera. Minister urges people not to report sexual offences to chiefs. National Planning Commission starts transforming Salima into a secondary city as part of the Vision 2063 agenda. In other news, Mozambique party queries legality of foreign troops. Moving on with the news. As indicated in the country's blueprint, Vision 2063, the National Planning Commission says it has started transforming Salima into a secondary city. This was said Wednesday during the launch of the Malawi Agribusiness Deal Room in Lilongwe. Senior Development Planning and Specialist Maxwell Maida says, among others, they're working on fisheries and aquaculture infrastructure development at the Chipoka, which will benefit 1.5 million households. Ziuleka Nanguo filed this report.
Some of the key stakeholders in the country launching the Malawi Agribusiness Deal Room said this platform is going to help assemble players in the agricultural sector to work together in developing the country through agriculture. The National Planning Commission Senior Development Planning Specialist Maxwell Maida, for example, says that Chipoka Fisheries Project in Salima can transform the district into a secondary city, and it has the potential of creating 300,000 jobs and boost the economy.
As National Planning Commission, we're looking at the private sector to come in and fill the physical space that cannot be filled in by government. So a project like the one that we have in Chipoka is mainly focusing on the private sector to come in and fill the space that cannot be filled by government, because government has got a lot of commitments. At the same time, the private sector is going to open up the area in giving in the much needed finance for the sector, the fisheries sector, to boom again.
Agra Country Manager Sophie Jidedze said that agriculture is a key component for economic transformation and the country needs to prioritize it.
The agribusiness deal room engagement is mobilizing private sector players to play their part in ensuring that Malawi is economically, developing. It is through businesses, and agriculture is the backbone or engine of economic transformation in Malawi. So we see the role of agricultural businesses as being key there.
Senior Partnerships Officer for Agra based in Kenya, Valentino Miheso, speaking on Zoom, urged Malawian agriculture stakeholders to be part of an agribusiness summit scheduled for early September this year to widen their market opportunities.
Health authorities in Salima have expressed concern over increasing cases of malnutrition leading to high child deaths in the district. They have since attributed to delays in the health service seeking behavior among the rural communities, among others. District Medical Officer for Salima, Dr. George Kasondo, said this on Thursday when receiving 40 million kwacha worth vitamin A supplements from Pamudzi Part 2 initiative. Joseph Mazizi filed this report.
District Medical Office at Salima District Health Office, Dr. George Kasondo, says malnutrition remains a serious challenge that the district is grappling with. He has since said the vitamin A supplements from Pamudzi Part 2 initiative is timely.
Still, malnutrition is a big burden in Salima. If you look at our indicators, they are not that satisfactory. If you are to quote the previous 2 quarters, our malnutrition, our mortality rate in NRIU has been very high, more than 15%. That was prescribed by Ministry of Health, meaning a lot of under 5s are dying from malnutrition. So this reflects that on the ground there's a lot of work that has to be done, and still the problem is there.
Pamudzi Part 2 initiative project's lead, Innocent Gajingwe, says they felt compelled to assist with the vitamin A supplements upon seeing the need at the facility.
We've been hearing reports of pregnant mothers and also maybe infants lacking basic nutritional foods. So we thought it wise that we make a donation of the supplements. These are vitamins that will help in the boosting of the nutritional status of the pregnant mothers and infants. There's another lot that's coming in November, December, but then it will be probably distributed in January. But then we will have to also identify other district hospitals where we can make such donations.
The donation by Bamudzipatu Initiative is worth about 40 million kwacha, with support from Vitamin Angels. Reporting for Zodiac from Salima, I am Joseph Mazizi.
Let's now have a look at sports. The Football Association of Malawi says chances are high that the country will host World Cup qualifiers at Bingu National Stadium following an inspection done at the facility by CAF officials. According to FAM's compliance manager Casper Jangali, though more needs to be done, the renovation works that have already been done at the facility have shown that the country is seriously working towards hosting the games. Bright Kanyama with more.
There were fears that Flames would not be able to host its home games in the 2022 FIFA World Cup qualifiers due to the poor state of stadiums in the country. Instead, CAF recommended that neighboring countries host the Flames, preferably Zambia. This forced Government and Football Association of Malawi to start renovating the magnificent Bingu National Stadium after the Continental Football Governing Body pushed the qualifiers, which were due to take place in June, to September due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Officials from CAF were in the country this week to inspect the facility if it is fit to host the games after months of renovating it. According to FAM's compliance manager Casper Jangale, there is a likelihood that the match involving Malawi and Mozambique will take place at BNS in September. Jangale said CAF officials were partially satisfied with the progress of the renovation works currently being done at the facility, while recommending that much emphasis should also be put on the playing field. Flames will travel to Cameroon in September for their opening fixture in 2022 World Cup qualifiers before hosting Mozambique days later. For Zodiac, this is Bright Kanyama.
And that's about what we had time for in this edition of news. But before we go, a look at the headlines. Park waits on audience with President Chakwera. Minister urges people not to report sexual offences to chiefs. National Planning Commission starts transforming Salima into a secondary city as part of the Vision 2063 agenda. That's all what we had time for in this edition of news. Visit our website, zodiacmalawi.com, for more news. My name is Robert Karua. Thanks for watching.
Mãe, não